Hi, 5th grade. We're on Domain 4, Adventures of Don Quixote, Lesson 2, Don Quixote's Journey to Knighthood. Our objectives are to compare and contrast Don Quixote's process for becoming a knight with the process described in the Gloomy Castles and Jousting Knights from Lesson 1. Identify and form sentences in the present tense that contain noun subjects and action verbs. We're also going to distinguish between root words and words with the suffix NESS and use them correctly, and distinguish between fact and opinion. Our key vocabulary for today: dub, to give a name or title to someone or to make someone a knight. In, a place where people who are traveling can eat, sleep, and rest. A page is a young boy in training to become a knight and someone in their first step to becoming a knight. Psalm, a poem or song used in a religious worship. A blow is a hard hit given with a part of a body or an object. A squire is a young man in the final stages of training to become a knight. A menace is to threaten to harm. Lance is a long wooden pole with metal tip. Meddle, to interfere in other people's business in an unwanted way. And a ballad is a poem or song that tells a story. So for today's chapters, you're going to read through them independently. I will pause my video for you to be able to read it. Feel free to pause this whole video and read it carefully. We want you to make sure you take your time to read it and really understand it. Okay, so our word work for today is meddle, and Andrew wished the well-meaning gentleman had not meddled. Meddle means to interfere in other people's business in an unwanted way, and that is a verb. So we're going to be talking about action and linking verbs again. We've kind of talked about them previously. Remember, action verbs show action: run, jump, skip, hop. All of those are examples of actions, while linking verbs connect the subject to the predicate without it explicitly doing an action. So is, are, that, the, things like that. So when we're talking about noun, subject, and action verb agreement, what we're talking about is if you have one subject, so one person or one thing is your noun for the subject, you're going to add the S and the ES to make that plural for your verb. But if you have more than one person for a noun, the verb's not going to change, and I'm going to show you what that means. So they have to agree when we're talking about something in the present tense. So the number refers to whether the subject is singular or plural. So if you're talking a singular item, so a castle, the suit of armor, Don Quixote, those are examples of a singular noun. Now if I were to add jump to Don Quixote as my verb, I would have to add an S to it to make it in the present tense. So Don Quixote jumps over the fence. That will make it agree. The noun and subject agree. However, if you have your noun be plural, so knights, adventures, Don Quixote, and Rocinante, those are examples of if I added jump, I wouldn't change and add S or ES to the end of it. So the knights jump, I wouldn't say knights jumps, it would just be knights jump. So it's really important to understand that if you have a singular noun, your verb has to include an S or an ES, but if you have a plural noun, you're going to have nothing added to the verb. So this is an example. So if the subject is Don Quixote, this is one thing, we would add an S to it. Don Quixote reads. The housekeeper fusses. The innkeeper tries. This makes it a noun, subject, action, verb agreement. This would make them in the present tense. Now let's talk about the suffix ness. The suffix, remember, a suffix is a syllable or syllables placed at the end of a root word to change the word's meaning or to form a different word. So in this sense, ness means the state or condition of being. Adding ness changes the part of speech of the root word. It generally is added to adjective, and it changes an adjective to a noun. So these are some examples of words root words where if we add ness, it changes the meaning. So we have bright, we added ness, we have brightness, drowsiness, emptiness, crispness, and steadiness. Notice how we changed it from an adjective to a noun, and we have sentences to support it. So feel free to read through these to understand them a little bit better. Okay, now we've talked about this previously as well, but let's quickly review. So a fact and opinion. An opinion is a thought or belief about something, whereas a fact is something that is true and can be proven. So an example of a fact, it is 65 degrees and raining outside. This is a fact because it can be proven. I could use a thermometer to check it. I can see, out the window, it's raining. I can feel it. I can hear it. Those are facts. Obviously, not necessarily how the temperature might be today, but in this sentence, it could be proven if it was that example. However, an opinion would be walking outside in the rain is the best feeling. So it's an opinion because I know not everyone's going to agree with me on that. Some people might say, ew, why would you want to go out in the rain? So it can't be proven. It's not a fact. It's something how I feel about it. So some clues to look for when you're looking at fact and opinions. So when you're looking at opinions, words are extreme, like, this is awesome, it's the greatest, the terrific, or it's the most awful. Those are really good judgmental words to show that it's an opinion. While fact, you might have a specific date, you might have specific numbers, you might, again, it's something you can actually prove. I could go and read something if United States is the best country. Well, that's an opinion. But the United States has 50 states. I can look in a book and say, yep, there's 50 states here. I see it. So it's definitely two different things. So keep in mind, because we will be talking a little bit more about this down the road. So if your assessment today is to practice just that, you're going to read some sentences and determine if they are a fact or an opinion. Remember, fact is something that can be proven, and opinion cannot. And we will see everyone in our next lesson.